Hi guys, so in this episode I wanted to do another little solo one. It's just me again. But I wanted to cover the topic of having your own art style and having your own art style. What kind of got me on this theme was a few months ago I was having a discussion with my mum and she said, if I saw your work in an exhibition, bear in mind I'd been in a few exhibitions by this time, I would not know which is your work because you don't have like a consistent style. And I was full blown disagreeing. I was like, realism is my style and I do portraits, and I do watercolors. I was disagreeing, but the more I thought about it, I did agree, because I was like, I see where she's coming from. I do portraits, and then I'll go and do a watercolor, and then I'll go and do a zine, and then I'll go and do a collage. So I wasn't consistent on one thing, and in a way, that's not a bad thing because I was exploring and trying out different techniques. And I think that is part of the process of finding your own style, is to explore. So I was doing that, so I don't regret that at like a certain point in time I didn't have a style, because I was learning what I liked to create and I was learning what I was kind of good at, and I was learning what I didn't like and what didn't work for me, and the materials I like to use and what I didn't like to use. So I was learning. So not having a style right now isn't a bad thing. It's you just early in the process of finding it, that's all. So I kind of went away from the discussion with my mum. I didn't take it negatively because I just don't take stuff like that negatively. It's just things to learn from. So I looked back on the work I was doing and I was like, I do portraits, I do zines, I do collaging, I do installations, I do canvas painting sometimes, I do drawing kind of things. I do all sorts. So I made a list of the things that I do, and I made a second list of the things I do that I enjoy and I think I'd want to include in my future work. And then I made a list of things that I've kind of got bored of or don't really want to develop. So I thought, I don't have to make those anymore. I don't have to do that technique anymore. I can kind of just say I've done it and leave it be. So then I looked at, so I'd got the basics, I like portraits, I like collaging, and I like zines, but not as, the two main ones would be collaging and portraits, and drawing and painting, but they can be incorporated into the portrait process. So I was like, I know what materials I want to use, I know the things I want to do, the form, human form, abstracts, that kind of thing, buildings. No, I want to do portraits. So I was like, okay, I want to do portraits. I kind of want it to be realistic still. I like collaging. I'm going to use drawing or painting techniques. So I kind of got a little list together of what I like to do and what I still wanted to do. Then I kind of got onto another thought process of how could I incorporate everything I like doing into one. How could I incorporate collaging with portraits? How could I incorporate painting with collaging? And I came up with the idea of doing portraits with traditional things like drawing and painting, that kind of thing, and then collaging over the top. I'd like to feel like this is my style now, and I've been painting portraits with collaging over the top the past few weeks, and it does genuinely feel like my own little thing, and I'm happy with what I'm making now, much happier than I was before. And I think I was a bit all over the place before because I was experimenting and I wasn't sure what felt right. And it's not a bad thing to explore and experiment, but I never really thought, how could I home this all in to one thing, or how could I use bits of everything into one thing? So imagine it's 100 balloons, and instead of me holding one at once, I just scooped them all up and I held one big bunch of balloons like you see people do at theme parks and stuff. So I think my advice to anybody who's struggling to find their own art style would be look back at the work you've already made, like pick out the parts that you like, not necessarily pieces of work that other people have liked or that has got the most likes on social media or the most interaction. You have to look at the pieces of work you create that you like. That's important. So look back at the blah blah blah. Look back at the work you've created that you like or you enjoyed creating. This could be like me, like a multiple things like collaging and portraits. I didn't want to give either up or like just do one, so I combined them. So that might be the same in your situation. You might be able to like combine a few things. That'd be cool. You could try that. That could be your style, you know. At the end of the day, it's a process, and you have to really focus on making art that you enjoy and do techniques and use materials that you personally enjoy. Because I found that if you're creating work that other people will like, or you might think it's popular, or people might want to buy, or will get you into exhibitions, or like will win you submissions, things like that, then it's like you're digging little holes all over this field when really you want to be working on your own, making your own style and your own work like followed in a sense. So there is like this hole analogy where if you put your energy and efforts into digging one hole, you will get a big hole. So imagine this big hole is like your following of your work, or not being noticed for your work, or you'll have your own body of work kind of thing. So the more you dig in this one spot and this one hole, the bigger it will get. So like the more developed your style will get. Whereas if you're going over there like I was doing a collage and then doing a portrait and then doing a watercolour, that's like essentially like running around this field digging little holes everywhere. You're never going to get the big hole finished. So it is a process, but just keep working at it and keep experimenting. And then when you find things that you enjoy, try and maybe combine them or hone them in, like use your favourite techniques, use your favourite materials, and then like make one thing with all of them together. Kind of like that guy did an art attack, how he used to run about and then make a huge picture on the floor using different materials. He was using different things. Like he wasn't just using cups, he wasn't just using plates, he was using different things. But in the end he was making one thing with multiple other things, if that makes sense. So like keep experimenting. I've already said this, but keep experimenting. But like throw everything you've got into your favouriteest things. Your favouriteest. That's a word. And I hope this helped. So, as always, if you have any recommendations of who else you'd like me to invite onto a podcast or themes, topics you'd like me to cover, you can message me on Instagram at leahjane_art. And thanks for listening. Like I said, I hope this helped. And yeah, thanks.